Former President Donald Trump is just hours away now from appearing in criminal court.
He'll face a Manhattan judge today about charges related to a hush money payment for adult film star Stormy Daniels during his 2016 presidential campaign.
Queen City News reporter Savannah Rudisell's been live in West Palm Beach the last couple of days outside Mar-a-Lago with a preview of his plans for this historic day. A lot of eyes watching the timeline today, Savannah.
Yeah, of course, Jason and Julian. It's because this is the first time that someone who has ever held the office of commander-in-chief is being indicted for criminal charges. We understand that the former president plans to enter a not guilty plea today, right around 2:15 when he stands before a Manhattan judge. But we also know that he's got some big plans for when he returns to Mar-a-Lago tonight. As the former president spends the early part of the week flying between West Palm Beach and New York City, supporters say his base is grounded in their faith of Donald Trump.
But for people to actually take their time out of their day to come out here and show that they recognize what he's going through and they still support him through it all, it just means so much to me, and I just want him to know that he still has that.
Others watched his motorcade roll by for the very opposite reason.
It's my responsibility to drive over here and let people know it's not just the Trumpers. We're here too. This is an amazing day for our country. I'm proud, and I'm very happy to represent for my sons and our future generations.
Trump plans to return to Mar-a-Lago Tuesday night after his day in court to publicly discuss the grand jury indictment.
He's refreshingly transparent in what he feels and what he's thinking, and I expect him to address what was in the indictment. I expect to address the charges that he's facing and really tell the American people, and especially his supporters, what the truth is behind the allegations.
While both sides anxiously wait to hear what will come of Tuesday's appearance, some hope they can start to clear the air.
We don't have to be like this. We don't have to be divided. We can unite. I have neighbors who, I just spoke with one who I didn't realize was a Trump supporter, and we get along great. Let's get back to that.
Lawyers for the former president have requested that the judge block camera access to the indictment today. So the judge has agreed, and cameras will not be allowed to broadcast that arraignment. However, he recognizes, he says, of course, there's a lot of public attention, a lot of public interest in this case, but he agrees with the former president's lawyer, saying that it could cause possible security concerns or create more of a circus-like atmosphere. That's how Trump's team put it. So that means that when he returns to Mar-a-Lago this evening, this could be the first time that we hear him speak publicly about the charges once he learns exactly what those are. He plans to talk right around 8:15 tonight. Guys?
What are we expecting with that speech tonight, Savannah? Is it open to the public? Can anyone kind of be able to hear what he's going to have to say?
We understand, at least from the media side, it is pretty strict, pretty locked down. All around West Palm Beach and around the area around Mar-a-Lago, there are a lot of cameras, a lot of eyes, so they're limiting the number of people that can get in. And it's not quite advertised necessarily as something that's open to everyone. You know, the Mar-a-Lago Club is still a relatively smaller place. It's not quite that rally or arena setting that we're used to seeing Trump when he addresses his supporters. So it's not going to be quite open to the public, necessarily a free-for-all. That's certainly true. But we understand that he will be talking directly to supporters when he makes this speech.
All right, Savannah, something that, of course, we're going to stay on top of. And our coverage of the Trump indictment continues all morning long and up until the former president turns himself in. So be sure to stay with Queen City News for complete coverage all throughout the day. You can stay updated with us on air, online, or you can even download the QC News app.